Assalamualaikum and a very good day. So today I will present our group project for course BITS 1313 Data Communication and Networking. So these are our team members. We have Nur IZZATI AMALIN, Nur SYAFIQAH AIMI, HIDAYATUL AZIRA, Wan SYAHIRA HAZWA, and Nur HUDA ADLIN. So let's start. So in this project scenario, the question asks how student using her modem to connect to the public network before able to connect to the UTM facilities. So these are the illustrations from the scenario. We have home network, which is a modem, and the internet connection to connect through the UTM campus network. Okay, so we have OSI layer. So all we know is that OSI layer has 7 layers, and it has its own benefits on each kind of layers. So we proceed to next. So on the topmost layer, we have layer 7, which is application. So it's responsible for providing services to the user, for example, cable and hub. So when student uploaded file that consists assignment or lab exercise by using some web browsers such as Google, the file application will send the uploaded file or other raw data to the application layer that will define data format. An application protocol includes File Transfer Protocol (FTP) that is functional as one of the protocol for communication between browser and web server. And for the next layer, we have presentation layer. They're responsible for syntax and semantics of the information exchange between the two systems. So example, we have ATM, PPP, NIC, ring, token, and bus. So during presentation layer, the data format will be translated, encrypted, and being decrypted and compressed before passing the data to the session layer to make sure the data is in usable format. And then the compression will help in uploading data from the student's computer at a faster rate, which is from application layer to presentation layer, which is ULEN system server. And the next layer, we go pass through layer 5, which is the session layer. Okay, session layer is responsible for maintains, establishes, and synchronizes the interaction between communicating system. For example, we have IP, H, DLC, and IPX. So in this session layer, it is in charge of coordinating communication between students' computer and UTM IT center. So the session is in charge of ensuring that the file is sent completely to the next layer when it's valid enough, when the requesting and receiving responses happen between the application layer and the transport layer. Before this, which explains on whether the student has the permission to access the ULEN system or not. After that, students' authentication has been approved and can access the ULEN system. And then lastly, the session will then be terminated. And then we go to past layer 4, which is transport layer, which is responsible for delivery of a message from one process to another, for example, TCP and UDP. The transport layer will break the data into small bits or segments to make transfer more effective between end users. The flow and error control in segmented data will instruct the session layer to establish a connection if packet failed to fully transfer to the receiver node. And the transport layer allows multiplexing, which allow the host to transmit and receive data that has been fixed against errors through TCP and UDP protocol implementations. So the last 3 layers, which is network layer, they're responsible for the delivery of packets from the original source to the final destination. For example, we have open a telnet or do something between and closed. And during this layer, the file data packet will prepare to send over one node to another connected in different network in the ULEN system server. And in the addition, all network interface has its own IP address when connected in internet. And the packet also will then be transmitted to the destination via the network layer that will occur at the router. And the second last layer, we have data link. They are responsible for transmitting frame from one node to the next. For example, MPEG, JPEG, and DOC. Then data link layer will receive student's computer and ULIN system server IP address in form of data packet. When MAC addresses of sender and receiver devices are attached to each data packet, they will form the frames that will later on be delivered into physical layer. And for the last layer, we have physical layer. They're responsible for transmitting individual bits from one node to the next. For example, www and NFTP chat. So in this layer, data frame are no longer being sent from the student's computer. The data link layer and physical layer will be the only layer that works in this procedure, which implies that data link layer information in the data frame will be changed with destination MAC address and sender MAC address. And the frame will be transformed into a bit stream of 0s and 1s, and will be sent through physical medium such as cable. Later on, data will be stored in the Unit System server that is located in IT center. So next, we have subnetting calculations. Okay, let's go. So in the return network address, we will use 192.168.1.0, which is in class C, and the subnet mask needed is equal to 9 since we have 1 IT access center and 8 faculty. And for the calculations, for number of subnet with 2 power of s, we will use 2 power of 4 is equal to 16, so the bit borrowed is equal to 4, since the subnet mask needed is equal to 9. So number of hosts, usable hosts is we will use the remaining bits in the host field, which is the balance is 4 from the use of subnet 4 in the 4th octet. So the subnet mask is also in class C, and we do have a custom subnet mask also, and the bit number 0.0.0.16. In the table above, the IT center is assigned in the 9th available address, and the 5th available address of this network address is assigned to the LAN access system. And for the router, its IP address is 192.168.1.129. TCP and IP configuration manual. So, how do you want to do this step? For step 1, go to the control panel in the search bar. And for step 2, click the network and internet menus. And for step 3, choose the network and sharing center option from the given list. While in step 4, Wi-Fi has been chosen for SYAHIRA Mawar 2.4 GHz. And then click on the properties. And next, click on Internet Protocol version 4. And for step 7, just use the IP address automatically for both DNS server and IP address. And for IP address in step 8, use as following given. And then step 9 for subnet mask, use as in the class C subnet mask default. And for default gateway, use as the follow given. And for step 11, it should be the same as the default gateway and DNS server. And Ethernet DNS server should be 8.8.8.8. And then step 13, validate setting open exit, click button OK. And then step 14, click button OK again. And a pop-up will appear, and then click the close button. And it shows that the internet access has been successfully connected. I think that's all from us. Thank you.